Hey, what's up, everybody? It's BDF44 coming at you with another video. I can't believe what I just saw. I'm sure you all, anybody that saw the highlights of what I just saw, or anybody that watched that game, understands that this was unbelievable. Just unbelievable. But it's on par with what I told everyone about this series and about this Atlanta Hawk team. I told you guys they are winning games that they have no business winning. The most improbable situations, the games that they have won, they should have lost. But this made me look like Nostradamus or something. This made me look like, I mean, it was like I was handed the future or something. Trae Young, Lou Williams, Danilo Gallinari, you got to give them their props. Hats off to those guys. John Collins. Guys play defense in the second half. But let me tell you, this was more about a collapse of catastrophic proportions. The Philadelphia 76ers had a 26-point lead right before the half. That lead remained above 20 throughout the third quarter. And the Hawks started coming back. But even though they were coming back, they were still up very, very comfortably down the stretch of that game. The Philadelphia 76ers were up 10 with like 4 minutes and 30 seconds to go. They coughed that game up in one of the worst choke jobs you will ever see in the history of the sport. I am telling you, that's up there, man. One of the top 10 worst choke jobs in the history of the sport. They were at home. It's a pivotal game 5. They were up 26, up 20. They had huge, massive leads throughout the entire game, all the way up to maybe about the 3-minute mark. But I'm telling you, Lou Williams, I told you guys, Lou Williams is here for one thing and one thing only, and that's to show up for the playoffs. And when he gets in the game, when you least expect it, if you press his button, he's going to go off. And that's exactly what happened. When they were down about 17, 18 points in that fourth quarter, and they needed somebody to try to cut that lead down, he went nuts. He looked as sharp and as in shape as he's looked all season. And I'm telling you, this isn't going to stop. The Philadelphia 76ers were completely demoralized in that fourth quarter. Completely demoralized. After having what seemingly looked like a demoralizing lead. You don't come back from that. How many times I tell you guys stuff like that? You don't come back from that. Philly is done. They are going to lose this series. You do not come back from this. Let me tell you something. You don't come back from this. No. I'm sorry. I see no chance of Philly winning this series now. I don't see no chance of them winning game 6. Atlanta is going back home to Atlanta. And unless something miraculous happens, I'm talking a 55-point game from Joel Embiid or a 30-point triple-double from Ben Simmons, or a combination of both. They are going to go home, and the Atlanta Hawks are going to the Eastern Conference Finals. This was one of the worst situations you'll ever see. Doc Rivers, you have a history of choking in the playoffs, bro, in some of the worst ways, but this might have been the worst one. This was awful, man. This was horrible. You cannot lose this game. There's no way you lose this game. I fire you, bruh. Honestly, if I'm the owner, this is a one-and-done year for Doc Rivers. He ain't coming back next season. Ain't no way in hell we lost a game like this. Philadelphia should be in the streets marching. This was one of the worst collapses in sports history. That's how bad that was. And let me tell you something. Trae Young is a real superstar. I told you guys. It's another thing that I told you. Volatile talent. When guys are on the verge of becoming great, or guys you know are super talented, but they're just very young, you don't know when they're going to snap into their greatness. You don't know when they're going to decide, okay, now I'm this guy. Like Michael Jordan at that year that he decided he just was going to take it to the next level. You don't know. And guys like Devin Booker and Trae Young are showing us that they have it. They have it. They haven't been on the right teams, but they have always had the ability to close. They have always had the ability to show what Donovan Mitchell and Jamal Murray showed us last year. What Dame Lillard has been able to show us all this time. There are more killers in this league, and some of them are just happen to be on bad teams. That's what this is showing you, ladies and gentlemen. These two ain't the only ones. There's some guys on some bad teams right now who can do this as well. if given an opportunity. And this is what you're seeing. They have some clutch, superstar level talent out there. And there's this guy particularly, Trae Young, is showing y'all that I'm capable of leading this team. You give me an opportunity to keep it close, and I can close it out. Teardrops, layups, his handle is close to perfection. I know people don't like his game because he tends to draw fouls, and the league is going to affect his play going forward with the rule change in regards to his the jumpers, and all the rules that they're trying to change up. I think it's a good thing, but as far as him being a great talent, I don't question that dude. I haven't questioned him since he got into this league. I still can stand by the fact that I think that trade was just fine for the Atlanta Hawks. Them trading Luka Doncic for Trae Young, that was just fine. It really was. That's how much I think of Trae Young. And he may get a championship before Luka Doncic. You remember I said that. Because right now, the Atlanta Hawks are the healthiest team left. And the Bucks don't look that good to me. If the Bucks happen to beat the Nets somehow in this next situation, if they somehow get out of that series, I don't like them against Atlanta. I got Atlanta winning that series. Especially after this game. The thing about Atlanta is they have to start off better. You can't allow yourself to get down this far. You know, that's the only thing. It's only so much faith I can really put into a team that would allow themselves to be down by 26. But the fact that they allowed themselves to fight back, and the fact that they've been winning games in ways that otherwise would force a team to lose, shows you that they have something special about them. Kind of remind me of the Toronto Raptors with Kawhi Leonard, to be honest. It's just a vibe there. And they're doing the improbable, just like the Phoenix Suns. And unfortunately for the Phoenix Suns, they're going to be missing Chris Paul. So it's like, yo, it's wide open, man. For all I know, the Atlanta Hawks are going to be the NBA champions. But one thing's for damn sure, they cannot fall down by 26 in most games and think they're going to come back and have a victory. Nah. This was a one-time deal, buddy. Don't think you can rely on this. If you can't bring the intensity that you brought in the last 4 minutes of this game to 48 minutes, then that championship conversation makes me look ridiculous. You got to bring it. Don't wait until the last minute and catch people slipping like you did Philly. Because that's not going to happen. That ain't going to happen too often. And if you run into KD, a KD-led team, that's definitely not going to happen. So let's make that very clear. But all in all, you got to give them credit. You got to give them credit. They fought hard. Nate McMillan deserves a lot of credit. He pushed the right buttons. He put the right players in at the right time. He deserves a whole lot of respect for how this whole situation is going for the Hawks. Coming in halfway through the season and making them what they are at this point, because they were not a winning team when he got there. One of the best coaching jobs you'll ever see. Seriously. And as far as everything else, man, look, as I told you guys, this is the most improbable playoffs I've ever seen. And it is turning out to be very, very special. And even though my team is not involved, I'm honestly enjoying it a lot. And I don't miss my team. I hate to say it, but I don't miss us as it pertains to being a fan and enjoying basketball. This has been one of the best. And the beat goes on, man. There are more games to be played, more injuries to deal with. But, you know, I can't do nothing but shake my head. That was unbelievable. Now, Joel Embiid did hurt his knee a little bit in that game. He came down on it and got back up, kind of shook it off, kept playing. Missed some free throws down the stretch. He didn't have it down the stretch of that game, and that was one of the reasons why that team couldn't keep a lead, because he wasn't himself. He was killing in the first half, helping them get that lead. You know, and some of the shooters that they had, you know, Philly did some great things in that first half that they can be proud of. They're gonna have to burn the second half of that tape. But the first half, they can look at some things and build upon themselves. And that's the thing about games like this. If you're a coach, you kind of, you want to show them that they did some things wrong, but you want to make sure that they know how they got the 26-point lead in the first place. And if you can build upon that, you give yourself a chance to have some momentum, because if they're thinking about how things collapsed, there's no way they're going into it with the type of confidence necessary to win that game. It's going to go exactly the way I think it's going to go. Lights out. Because that's how I think it's going to go. But a special coach can turn this situation into something guys can build from, because quite frankly, you had a 26-point lead. So that tells you know something. Something you did worked against this team. They just caught you off guard when you were winning. So otherwise, if you keep your chin up and continue to do what it is that you were doing, the game continues to stay in your favor. But not every coach can convey that, especially under stress. Make players believe that and go out and play well. It's difficult. And the fact of the matter is, that was a demoralizing loss. And 9 out of 10 teams do not come back from that. And keep in mind this, that game was in Philadelphia. They were at home. Now they got to go down to Atlanta, try to win a road game or get eliminated. You think that Atlanta crowd ain't going to be ready? You think the Stars and Amigos and all them dudes ain't going to be down there? It's going to be a star-studded event. And they're going to be looking to wave Philadelphia home. So, hey, this is what you get. This is the NBA playoffs, baby. It don't get much more exciting than this. My name is BDF44. Thank you guys for watching. I'm out.